want to follow along and work with me at the same time, you'll want to go to the file that I sent you, which should look like this, where it's got a little notebook and it's got all the different puzzle templates on it. Well, it probably looks like this when you first saw it, but you can click on the puzzles or click on the next page and go to the next page there. So there's all different templates on here, and you can kind of do what you want today. I'm going to do a 9-piece just because it's simpler and easier to follow along, and quicker, I guess, is the answer. So what you want to do is, let me start with this. I think there's 4 steps to this. The first step is going to be making your pictures into a jigsaw puzzle, and we're going to do that in Google Slides.
Sorry, Debbie. So sorry. This is, you know, it opens up and I click on the link, and when I try to click on add puzzles, I'm unable to. Math facts, fractions, etc. Everything I'm able to click on those, but this I'm not able to.
Okay.
I'm not to either.
So you
click on slide 2. I had to click on slide 2.
Okay.
And click on the puzzle piece itself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks.
Up here, if you click on the puzzle piece itself, it's got the link. Oh no, I'm sorry. The link is wrong. That's why. It's linking to slide 1. It's supposed to be linking to slide 2, which is right here. I had it hidden for a while. I didn't want people to find this right away. So that's why it's like that. Can you get to page 2? Everybody's there and see all the Google?
No, I don't have a page 2.
Okay, let me. If I change this live, are they going to be able to?
Yeah, they will. It'll change for them.
Okay.
You have to just go down on the very bottom of your screen. It should have the bar with the forward or the advanced slide, and then there's a list it says slide 1. And if you click the drop down arrow, you should get the option to click on slide 2.
What is she talking about? And now it is visible. So if you're at slide 1, you should be able to click on it and move to the next page or scroll down to the next page. We got it? Okay. All right. So as I was saying, the first, I need to hide this menu up here because I can't see what I need to do. There we go. The steps are, the first thing is to take your picture and make it into a jigsaw puzzle. And we're going to do that in Google Slides. So the first link that you want to use from my notebook would be one that has a puzzle piece next to it. These are all Google Slide links. So as I said, I'm going to do the 9-piece. And so if you click on the puzzle piece itself, it has the link. They're all in a template preview mode. So when you click on it, it'll open up and you should have a template. And then when you click on use template, it will make a copy for you. Okay.
No.
Are you able to open the template? I hear some people saying no.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yep.
Mm-mm. No.
Okay. If you have the 9-piece open, I'm going to go ahead and show you what to do, even though we may not have everybody with the link up. This is the first slide here, which kind of tells you what to do. This first slide doesn't matter a whole lot, and you can't see anything happen. So you could go ahead and just delete this part. You don't need those words on there other than it telling you what to do. If you go down to slide 2, it's easier, I think, to see it. And you click on background. and you want to use an image. And this is where you're going to put the image that you have set aside to do this activity. Let's hope I can find mine quickly. No. I had such a cute one ready for today. Okay, hold on one second. It didn't save where I thought it did. Okay, I finally found mine. I'm gonna come back to you and share again. I was searching all around my computer. I didn't want you all to be watching me search around my computer. Okay, so you're gonna choose an image, and you should have your file more ready than I did, and choose your image in there. It is gonna put it as the background, and you want to click on Add to Theme. When you do that, it makes the picture there part of every single slide. So what this is an overlay on top of the background. So it's not really the blue things that are the puzzle pieces. This is the puzzle piece. Okay, so you have to think about it in reverse. I don't have any puzzle lines on here because this part, the aqua color, is our backdrop, our table that we're working on. So as you go down, you can see on slide 2, when you click on it, another puzzle piece appears. Slide 3, you have 3 pieces. Okay. So,
would you be, oh, I'm sorry. Would you be able to show me, when I looked for my picture, I just missed how that first step where you like change the background. Would you mind repeating it? I apologize.
No, that's okay. So you just click on background here. So you have to be if you're clicked on something on the screen, it's not available. Click off of there and you can see background. And so you set your background, choose your image, and after you've chosen it, then you click Add it to Theme. Okay.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Over and over again, just put a new picture behind it. What you have to do after this is you have to download each of these slides as a PNG file. Down here, download, and when you go to PNG or JPEG, either one works, and it only downloads that current slide. That's your only option. You want to, so it's going to download and it's just going to keep adding new numbers every time you do it. So go down to the slide 3, file, download, and then as a PNG file. Okay, we're going to do that for each one of them. File, download, as a PNG. That's why I'm doing a 9-piece, because it should be a little bit faster. So they're all downloading into the same folder, so hopefully we can find them all easily next time. Number 8, download PNG.
Laura, are you adding it as a background and not just adding it as an image into
Well, when
the
I
slide?
do this, I find my picture, I click on it, I say open, and it just pops on my screen. It doesn't give me the option of adding it as a background.
Before you click on browse, open.
So I just took it off again.
It should go right back to where it's listed as background.
Insert.
Nope, you're not inserting. Nope.
Oh, I'm not inserting. What am I doing?
Click on background, which is underneath the add-on.
Background here.
It's in the second row. and it says background right underneath add-ons.
Right
Take your
underneath
cursor off of
add-ons.
anything on the
Okay, I
slide.
found add-ons. Okay. Get add-ons. I don't even have add-ons.
That's okay. You don't need that background underneath it. It's not in that
Background wasn't even listed.
below it.
Wasn't even not even listed.
No, look at my screen.
Oh, no, I found it. My bad. I found it.
All right, you've got
It
background.
wasn't
Okay.
there before.
Right, because you were probably clicked on something on the image on the screen. You
Ah,
have to click away from there and then background shows up.
okay, so background, I got my image.
Yep.
Add to theme, you said, and then
Correct.
done.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Now, I am not certain that I downloaded this last one, so file, download, PNG. Make sure you download all of them. I like to do the first one also, but I would take these words off
Okay.
in order to.
So file, download. Am I making a copy? No, I'm downloading it.
Download as a PNG for each of the slides.
Can I do them all at once? Do a control A
Nope,
and do
you have
them
to do
all
them one at a time.
Have to do
That
one.
doesn't work all at once, unfortunately.
Okay, file. Sounds.
You want them one at a time because then you have to upload them. If you do it all at once, it'd be
Got it. Okay.
ugly picture.
I understand.
Okay, so we have all of our pictures now as puzzle pieces. The next thing we have to do is insert those jigsaw pictures into the Google Sheets template. So if you go back to my book and you saw down at the bottom, these ones include the template that Jorlina made for us, that have different numbers of questions. You have all of the templates here for you that match one of the puzzle pieces up here. So I'm going to do the 9-question one because that is what I have. All right, and I'm going to use this template. Now you'll see that this template actually has a picture in it, and that's okay. It's a template. I can change it. I can do anything I want. Let me put it so you can see the whole thing. Okay, it has a template in it. It's not all filled in. If I were to fill it all in with the answers. Yeah, come on. You'll see each piece appearing as if the puzzle piece were appearing, but really what's happening is the overlay is disappearing. Okay, so now I want to put my new puzzle in there because I'm giving this to a boy, not a girl. So we've got to put, what's the guy's name? Never can think of it. The other guy from Moana. Maui, thank you, Maui. Yes, we're going to put our Maui in there. So we have to go to sheet 2. And this is, it's down at 50% view, which means you can see more of it. Sometimes when you open these templates or somebody else's work, they might be hidden. They might have all of the font colored into white, which makes all of the answers disappear. You might even hide this column and then all of the pictures will disappear. So if some smart kid finds sheet 2, this is what it can look like, okay? Or if you open one from our group and it's blank and you go, wait a minute, where is everything? Start hunting and unhiding columns and always choose the whole thing by clicking up in this corner, changing the font to black. And there you go. There's our questions and our answers. I am going to make this a little bit bigger so we can see what we're doing. All right, so what you have to do is take each of those pictures that you just got from the Google slide and you have to insert them into here. So we'll start with our blank one first. And you want to go to Insert Image in the cell. And when you hunt for it, they should all be in the same place because we downloaded them all together. So I'll do my blank one first. All right, then I'm going to change piece 1, Insert Image in the cell. And when I browse, it takes me right back to the place where I was working. So that's the first one. And you want to do this all the way down the row. Insert image in the cell. Go look for it. And we want image number 2 with 2 puzzle pieces, or I'm sorry, I just do that backwards? This is the one I want. Did I just do that last one backwards? No, okay. What I find
You
easier
have
to
it
do,
good
and
now.
if you don't know this trick, I'm about to change your life. I'm really not kidding. If you hit on the Windows key and the right arrow, it will take your screen and it will put it half of it on the right. And then on the other half of your screen, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see what I'm doing, if you put the folder where everything has been downloaded, and you put that by hitting the Windows key and the arrow left, you will have all of your images on one side and your Google Sheet on the other. And the reason I do this is because I save a step, and I think it really makes a difference. So I'm guessing you can only see my Google Sheet. Is that correct?
Correct.
Let me see if I can share all of it.
And when you say Windows key,
If you have a Mac, it's not going to work. There's surely a trick on there, but I don't know it.
okay, I have a Chromebook. I am wondering if it's I'm just wondering on my Chromebook which one it is.
And I don't know if
Well, technically a Chromebook doesn't have a hard drive, so you might be saving directly into your Google Drive and not your computer.
Ah, got it.
Somebody said you can use Alt Bracket.
Alt Bracket, thank you.
Okay, can you see both images on my screen then? The Google Sheet on the one side and the file folder on the other? Okay, I think I've done this right. So you can see me working. So when I go to this number 3 and I want to insert image in the cell, instead of going to hunt for it, I can just drag it over. And I think that saves so much time. So insert image in the cell. And I'm on number 4, so I want 4 pieces to go in there.
Debbie, can you show real quick how to get to the spreadsheet again? Some people were still downloading their pictures, so they're behind you now.
Sure, yeah. So the back in my, I think you should just see my Google screen now. If you go to my link that I sent you in the email where the jigsaw puzzles are, to get to the spreadsheet, you want to go to the bottom half here where it has, these are the same templates that we use to make the color by number pictures, only we're doing this with the puzzle pieces. So it's the exact same concept. We've just, instead of coloring things in, we've put puzzle pieces in there instead. So I'm using the one that's the 9 question. That's how we get to the spreadsheet.
Right, so.
Is everybody with me now?
Quick 9 question.
Okay. I want to get back to my 9 piece.
This is what 9 question took me to.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. So how do I get to the spreadsheet?
There's a button that says use template on your top right side.
Got it. Okay.
And Debbie, would you recommend when we make one of these for our own that we format it first like you did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or with our answers that correspond to our activity?
I like to do it in this order. I think this is the safest way to not get yourself all confused. I think if you have it working with 1 through 9, then you know your pictures are good, and then you go back and you do your questions and answers, and I think then you check those. So it just takes the guesswork out of it. So this is the best system, I think. You can do it differently, but I'm going to try to keep going here and finish putting in my images. I have a little spy coming in the room, someone who does these puzzles and wants to know how it's done.
Quick question, Debbie. Why do we need to do the blank one?
You don't have to. I just like it because it's the same color. And so it looks as if I've just put out a mat that I'm going to work a puzzle on so that when the first piece shows up, it looks like only that piece has appeared. And
Okay.
that was there already. You might be able to match the color real well in Google Sheets. And so it doesn't really matter. It'll just be empty. So you don't have to, but it's something that if you're on a color by number, you would do it and you would have just the blank picture that's not colored at all. So this is kind of the same idea.
So basically what you did was the ones that you had the text written on, you removed the text and downloaded that as a blank one?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
And after I downloaded it, I just hit Control Z to put the text back on there so that I would have it there for next time. And if I need to know it, or if someone uses my template again.
Okay.
All right, I'm almost finished getting all of the pictures in there. Hopefully you guys are sort of with me.
Someone said they're lost. Can you let us know what step?
If you came in late, it might be hard for you to catch up at this point because I've gone over a lot of stuff. I see people kind of still joining. But let me try to go back to.
Remember, this webinar is going to be posted on our YouTube channel later on today, so you can actually go through and stop and start if you're joined late or you just want to go over some steps.
I will show the thing on my screen again that tells you kind of the steps. The first step is to make your picture into a jigsaw puzzle in the Google Slides. And you do that with the templates from the book I sent you. Pick one of these. We've done the 9-piece here. So when you click on that puzzle, it takes you to a template. When you click on Use Template, you'll have the spreadsheet. So that's step number 1. And then step number 2 is to take those jigsaw pictures that we've downloaded. I'm sorry, there is a little bit more after you get them in the slides. So there's information there. But step 2 then is to take those pictures and put them into Google Sheets, into the template, which is also from this book. If there's any questions, I can't see the questions. So if there's one that you want to type or you want to unmute and ask, I'm happy to answer questions.
Debbie, are these all formatted in a square?
No, they're not. These ones down here are the 9, 16, and 25, which 25 is a lot. But the others are a rectangle. And I even have them for different ways. Like if it's a portrait image, you would want to use this piece instead. But if it's landscape, then you could use one of these.
Thank you.
And then when you're putting it in here in the spreadsheet, it doesn't matter a whole lot. So I finished putting all of my pieces in there. On sheet 2, I put all of my images in there. And so when I go back to sheet 1, since I have all 9 answers in there, you can see my whole image. Okay, if I start removing them, let's delete number 9. As you delete each one, you see the puzzle pieces disappearing, and you can see that backdrop, which is really an overlay, and that's what we have left. Okay, so when nothing's in there, the formula is set up to show this blank piece here in this space. Okay, so step number 3, after you have all your pictures in there, is that's when you go back and you put in your questions and answers. So there were no questions and answers in here, so whatever I put in is going to be a change. I'm going to put in some simple multiplication facts so that we can just show you how to change the questions and answers. Now, right away, to me, this looks terrible. You can't see it. I'm going to take all of these and I'm going to change the font to something bigger. Okay. You got to make it look good for your kids so they can see it. And yeah, go ahead and just put a few more multiplication problems in here. You would have your questions ready to go in. I'm going to input our answers for the ones I have so far. When you have your answers here, you have to go to sheet 2 and you have to change them in that answer column, because right now the puzzle pieces are only going to work with the things that are in this column here that says answers. So this is where we have to put our answers. If I put 25 in here for question number 1, I go back to look at sheet 1, you can see that I have my first picture appearing. When I put in 16 for question number 2, you can see I've got 2 of them showing. So
Debbie, do you have to do anything for text answers?
Oh, you don't have to do anything special for text answers. Let's make this one the word spelled out. So I will go here. This one was 9 and this one was 4. So you can see that my 4th picture is showing now because I have 4 puzzle pieces. So that's kind of a nice thing about this. There's no special formatting. As long as what is in this box matches what is in this box, it will work. So there's no extra formulas for you. You just have to put in your answers. The problem, I would never put your questions over here. That'd be a waste of time. You've got just problems 1 through 9 and put your answers in there. When I have a whole column of answers, I can't remember and I hate going back and forth. So I might copy that whole row, come over here and post it kind of next to where I'm working so that I can see them and enter them. Because, and then when I'm finished, I just delete all that. But it's just a way of not having to flip back and forth between each page. Okay, I can tell there's probably questions. So if you have a question, why don't you either type it in the chat or you can shout out.
Debbie, I did exactly what you said, but somehow my puzzle pieces are not appearing.
Okay. On sheet 2, you have all your puzzle pieces in this area?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you're putting your answers in here?
Yes, I do have the puzzle pieces and I put the first 4 answers the way you did it.
Okay. And your spreadsheet, and this is not changing here, this image?
I have actually like the other blue color. I did not even get the blank.
Okay.
Yeah.
That shouldn't matter.
But yeah, it's not changing. Once I am putting the answers in, it is not changing.
We might have to troubleshoot that on the side.
Okay.
Orlina, what are you capable of right now? I'm not sure what your status is.
I think I can I think I'm still, you still made me the co-host, so I should still be able to do everything. I feel like I would her.
First, let me see, are there any other questions? And then I'll ask Sonia to share her screen and then we can kind of troubleshoot with her screen.
I have a question. I deleted all of the answers and then I went back, and sometimes my kids don't do the answers in order. They pick the problems that they can do. Well, I went down to number 4 and I typed in 4 because that was the answer originally, and nothing appears.
Right, it has to be done in order. So the formula is set up to look for first, is number 1 correct? Is number 2 correct? It's an if and, not an if or formula. So it says if number 1 is correct and number 2 is correct and number 3 and number 4, then do this. And it kind of checks it backwards. It looks for, is number 9 right? Nope. Okay, is number 8 right? And it goes back down the line until it finds one that is correct, but you still have to have all the ones before it correct as well. So this is one where they can't hop around. They have to do it in order. Now, if they do hop around and they go back in and do 1, 2, and 3, then it will work. It doesn't have to be done in order, but all of the answers before it have to be correct. Does that make sense? So if they did 4, in fact, I can show you. If you have 4 in there, it's going to be blank. But if I go through and I start putting in the correct answers, then you can see all of it works. Now, the last time when I typed in 9, it didn't show me just the image in the space for that. It showed me the image for the space in this one because I already had it filled in. So, because now the formula is reading, oh, she has 4 correct answers, and so this is what I'm supposed to do. So the computer's always looking for, tell me what to do, tell me what picture to put in there, and you do it, but it only listens to the correct answers in those spots.
I just want to add a little bit because I know that teachers are interested in students being able to work at their own pace and doing the problems that they like. So there's a video on the YouTube channel already that I posted on, it's the coloring sheets, but this is the same exact template, right? Because this is using that template I made where you can make it so that if students, for example, do get question number 7 correct, that it'll at the very least turn green for them so that they know it's correct. But then you tell them your puzzle piece isn't going to be filled in, but at least you know that answer is correct. So you can keep working on the other ones that you know. Once you do have the progression and you have all of them filled in, you'll get to see the picture. So there's that is available where you can have it turn red if it's incorrect, green if it's correct, and then stay the same color if it's blank.
Hello.
It's simple. It's a simple thing to do to the worksheet itself.
In order to change it so that those colors do show when the students are correct, is that the template on YouTube with the, my students did the one with the dragon, the color by number, and they really enjoyed that. Okay, I got this correct. So is that only on that template or can we do it on these other pieces that we see here?
You can do it. So I have the video on YouTube on how you can do it your own way. But the one on my sheet, the Harry Potter one, is already done that way. So it's a 10-piece though. So it's not a 9-piece.
If that is something that people really want, I could set these templates up to be that way. If you want, it's just, what you're doing then is just putting in a conditional formula, basically, to say, if this one is correct, then do this. If this one's incorrect, do that. So it's not too difficult. If that's something people really want, I can update these.
I think that's very helpful for students to feel that success and not be frustrated when they can't do all the problems. Otherwise, I was thinking, start easy and progress my way down to a little bit harder question.
Right, yes.
But I just add, we have put several links in the chat to our YouTube channel. So if you would like to click on that and save that and subscribe. And if you've got any things like this that you would like tutorials on, just please let us know and we can make them and upload them.
Are the templates to the color by number templates in the on the YouTube channel? Or I went to that, but I got late, so I never got the templates.
So really your template is the same as what we're using here. This bottom part of it is it's the exact same template for color by number with these different number of questions. So
Okay, so you would just
putting in a jigsaw picture, you'd be putting in a colored picture that has 1 color, and then the next spot, a picture with 2 colors. And so you would just have that same progression. So this is the template for the color by number.
Okay, so, but on the slide deck itself, where you have to put all the different colors, is there a template for that? Like you had that template on the slide decks where all the puzzle pieces are, but so on the color by number, you would have to have a slide deck for all the different numbers.
Right, so there isn't a, I'm not sure if I know what you're asking for. If you're asking where you can get the pictures that are colored?
No. I'm asking where how on this puzzle piece, you had a slide deck and on every one was a different puzzle piece. On the color by numbers, you would need a slide deck. Where do you build the slide deck for, like every slide has a different piece of the color by number?
Right, so that is something you would make. You don't have to have it on a slide deck. You just need to have those images. So if you're on a coloring website and you color in the 1 color and then you download that as a JPEG or PNG file, and then you add the next color and you download that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you on the coloring website, I did get those websites, so you would just download those individually.
Yes. So you don't have to put them in a slide deck because you're just downloading them from the slide deck as PNG files. So skip the slide deck part of it.
I got it. And then I can use these these templates to put them in, just put those images in instead of a puzzle piece.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Okay, other questions?
Yeah, I'm curious where people are getting their pictures. Are there like rules about what we can take off the internet?
Definitely. You know, I just use some Disney pieces, which are totally illegal, and I would never dream of, you know, selling those or doing anything like that. But if I'm making them and using them with my kids, it's okay. Making them and using them, you know, and sharing them is definitely questionable. There are websites that have free source pictures. So, and there's a lot of there's photographers out there that want to put their things on free source so that they get some exposure. So those are some places to find good pictures.
And I'm assuming we could just use any picture off our camera, right?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I really wanted to do today's, and I'm so sad I didn't have it ready. The puppy, the husky puppy that someone posted on our group, I was going to use that to cut into a puzzle, and I couldn't find it. So I'm disappointed. I wanted to use that one today.
I think it'd be really cool if you had a picture of your class and did it that way.
Carly. Yeah, I think the kids would love that if you had pictures of them or the class or something like that. Something in their school or some work that they've done. I think all those things would be great choices.
And it would actually be a great way if you've got a new class of introducing different members of staff. If there's like a staff photo, opportunities are really endless.
Mm-hmm.
So Debbie, let me know when you want me to share screen, because I would have to join the meeting with my on my laptop because I'm on two different things. So I'll have to join the meeting to share the screen. Do you want me to do that, or do you want to answer more questions? I can wait. I don't have any problem.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Yes, go ahead. I think Laura.
Is it possible to change like the turquoise? I don't know if it's the background or what on the slides. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, yes. I meant to kind of talk about that. Let me show you.
Okay.
You never have to keep the spreadsheet exactly the way it is. So maybe you want the whole thing to be yellow. When I do it, I change the whole thing first, and then I go back and change the answers to other colors. So I would highlight the whole
I'm
thing.
gonna have to go to the YouTube channel. She went so damn fast.
To a nice different color. Then you could go to these boxes. If you control click on each of these, and we'll change these to the turquoise color.
Okay, I meant like the actual puzzle slide.
Oh, the puzzle pieces. Yes, you could do that while you are in Google Slides.
Okay.
Let me find that real quick. Okay, so there's going to be some limitations to it because I made them in random colors, really. I didn't pick anything for any particular reason. But when you're here in Google Slides, if you click on one of the squares, or if I'm on a different one, click on this here, and you go to Format and Format Options. Over here, you have a choice to recolor. Now, as I said, there will be some limitations. It doesn't give you all of the colors, but it does give you can always go to black. That's always an option.
And that was under Format?
Mm-hmm. It was under Format and then Options.
Okay.
And then over here. And so you can change the colors to different things.
Thank you.
If there's anybody that really wants a particular color, I can change the template from my end. But you'd have just, message me or something like that. If you had something you're really dying for, if you want a hot pink or something, you're not going to find that in the recolor choices here. Okay.
Debbie? Yeah. I wanted to, Sandy, I was able to do everything fantastically. Thank you. But I want to add a vocabulary text box for mine. Okay. And if I add a line, does that mess up the order or anything?
No, I don't believe so. If you, so you can add columns at any point. You can definitely do that. Here at the end, you can insert columns to the right. You can make those big. You could put your vocabulary sheet over here. That would be one option. You can actually move these boxes. For example, maybe you don't like these spaces in here. If I highlight that space, right click on it and delete those cells, shifting everything up, it does not change anything with the formula. My formula automatically adjusts to the new location of that box. So if you wanted to move them around, you could do that. I'm going to delete those cells, shift them up. You can also move the answer cells completely. Let me insert a couple of columns here. Make these much smaller. Let's say I want to move all of my answers to the other side. If you highlight them all and then click on Control X, or I believe it's a Command X on a Mac, and you go over to here and you Control C. I'm sorry, not Control C, Control V. Don't do that. Don't do Control C. On this side, Control X. Over here, Control V. My answers just move to this side. You can move your questions over there as well. And the formula still works, obviously. 5, 6. So you can move the answers around. You can do a lot of things. You can't copy and paste. You have to do that Control X, which is cutting it from that place entirely and telling it that you're moving it to a whole new place, and the formula automatically adjusts. If you're not real good with sheets and you start messing around too much and you find out things aren't working, Control Z everything. Just back up, back up, back up. Or even better sometimes is you go back to your version history and go back to 20 minutes ago when everything was working right, and then start again. So don't be afraid to mess around, because there's always ways out of it. And so you can definitely move things around and create a new look to the whole page. But this box here has the formula in it, and you don't want to mess with that.
I have a question, Debbie. Can you please review how to get your picture from Google Slides to the template?
You bet. So did you download them from Google Slides?
I have in Google Slides, I have the pieces already.
Okay.
I have them like that.
Okay. So when you're in here, you have to click on File, Download, and download them as a JPEG or a PNG file. So you have to do that for each slide. Have you done that part?
No. Okay, so
that's what you were missing then. So click on each of those, go to File.
For each slide.
For each slide. Yep. You can't do them all at once. You have to do them one at a time, and you really want them. You want them each to be a separate piece.
Okay. Okay. And after I download them, then I go to sheet 2.
Yep. Then you go to so you're in slides right now. Then you go to the Google Sheets, and you go to sheet 2, and you put those pictures in here.
Okay, thank you.
Does this work the same? Like, I teach a class, like I teach computers, so I would use this as a review. Does it work the same if I just put in words for answers and words for questions and not math problems?
Yes, definitely. It works for words. Yep. Yep. So they just have to enter, like the answers have to match. What they enter in the answer cell has to match what you've put in for the answer.
Right.
So if there's any spelling error, it won't work. If there's, whatnot. So you can always do a word bank or a drop-down menu or something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Debbie, does capitalization make a difference? The first letter, sometimes they won't capitalize the first letter.
Right.
Does that affect the answer, or does it have to be exactly the same?
I don't think it has to be exactly the same. Is that right, Horlina?
Yeah, capitalization doesn't matter. I know there's a way to do it if you need it to matter. I don't work with words that often, so I don't remember how to do it.
No, I was talking more about like figures of speech or figurative language, that kind of.
The way that it's set up right now, capitalization doesn't matter.
Perfect, thank you.
When I'm typing in the vocabulary words into my text box to the right of my structure, I type in the word and I'm hitting enter and it disappears. Or even when I hit, I merge cells and it's not keeping it there. It's not staying within one box.
I think I'd have to look at what you're doing to quite understand that. So are you on the front page?
I'm on sheet 1 to the
Okay.
right-hand side of the picture, right where you pretty much have the 25.
Okay.
And I'm trying to type in my text, my vocabulary words.
Okay.
Like the word structure or lines or stanza.
Okay.
And every time I do it, like I'm typing in structure, comma, and then lines, comma, stanza, comma, free verse, comma, imagery. And then it goes to the center of the text box.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to make it bigger so that, because right now it's on a 10-point font.
Right.
When I make it bigger, it just kind of, it's disappearing on me. I'm trying to make it 18 and the
That's because
box is getting too big.
That's because it doesn't fit. So what you would need to do is you'd need to merge a few cells together. So if you merge these three together and then change it to a bigger font, you'll be able to see it. But when you have a small cell and you try to put something really big in there, change that to a, no, mine did
Yeah,
not
so
here, but
I did merge the cells.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to do is get one on every single one word, pretty much in a column. And it's not.
You're trying to do more than one word. You're trying to do a list within one cell.
Yes, and I've merged the cells, so I've got about 30 cells merged together in a column, and it won't let me. So if you type structure and then you type lines, and then if you type stanza, so it's not doing that. Why aren't?
So after every time I hit enter, I'm not actually hitting enter. After every word, I'm hitting Alt and then enter.
Alt and then enter. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I've just answered this one about the person that can't find the insert image on sheet 2. If you go to sheet 2, look at the top, click on insert, scroll down to image, click on that and it'll give you two options, insert in cell or insert over cells. You insert in cell.
Yep.
Hope that answered that one.
Image in the cell. Yep.
Thank you, Debbie.
I have a question. Some pixel art that I've done, I've tried to do fractions. With doing it on sheet 2, will it recognize like numerator / denominator, or do I need to do something different with fractions?
Let's check. I just put 1/2 in there for the answer. Put 1/2 in here and it worked. Okay. I did one recently where it had fractions and something wasn't working, and I tried changing the format to text or changing it to plain text or automatic, and I messed all around with it. I couldn't get it to work, and I finally just started over, and then it worked fine. So I had done something that made it read it wrong, but if you don't mess with it too much, then it works fine.
And explain that to me, because I read in one of the posts about try plain text. What does that even mean?
So plain text, when you're talking about the number format of a cell, you can go up here where it says format and then number, plain text. That's what that means. So the spreadsheet is set up to automatically detect if it's a number or if it's a date or if it's a, any of these things here. It's set up to automatically detect that. Like if you put in a colon, it'll tell you that it thinks it's a time. Okay. So if you need it to be something specific, then it's under format and then number, or a quick way is this little 1, 2, 3 drop down, and then you change it to plain text.
Remember to have the plain text on your every answer for all fractions. So to highlight the whole of your answers and do it on plain text. Otherwise, if you just do it on the first answer, it won't do it to the next ones unless you copy it and paste in.
Right. That's when you're doing that, you're only changing it for that one cell. Now, just to be clear to everybody, we're talking about in pixel art. In this one, it's set up differently, and it does not matter because it will read it just fine. If you have 1/2 in here and you type in 1/2 for the answer, it works just fine. Okay. Any more questions? Should we get back to Sonia? You want to share your screen? I think you should be able to.
I am going to quickly join the meeting with my laptop because I was on a different ones. I'm going to join the meeting with the laptop I'm working on so I can share your screen, share the screen here.
Okay.
Okay. If you can let me in.
Yep.
Okay. Time with
Oh, you're in both, I think. Now you're on mute, Sonia.
Better?
Okay.
I think I'm going to leave that meeting. Okay. All right. So let me just set up my things where I have the column. All right. Thank you for being patient. Okay, I think you have to give me the control to share the screen, please.
Okay.
It's still saying disabled.
Hang on.
Yeah, let me know when.
All right. All right. You should have that ability now, Sonia.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. So, all right. So if you see, I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to move this up. All right. So this is my sheet 1. First of all, I don't have that like turquoise blue coming in over here. I have the questions and answers just like you formatted it. And then here I do have the blank one. I'm going to make it go to 100 so you can click. I have the blank one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. And the answers are right here. Just so I'm not sure what I am doing wrong.
Go back to sheet 1.
Okay.
And click on the picture box.
Right here. Okay.
Oh, your whole formula is gone.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's not good. The whole formula is in that box, and that's what makes everything work. So my suggestion would be to, you could open a new template and copy and paste the formula.
Okay.
Or you could just start again in a new one.
Okay. Can I do the version part in here? May I go to the?
You probably could, yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the version history. And then let's see, I'm going to go, so I can go back to the original one. Oh, it changed colors.
It'll change back when you hit restore this version. When you're in version history, it just shades everything.
Okay, so restore this version. And then I start working. So it restored it to this version. Okay, so I basically go ahead and start working again and put the answers in it, and it should work.
That's correct. So what you have, like click on the box where the picture is.
Right here? Okay.
See that formula up in the formula bar? Somehow that got deleted on your other copy, and you need that. That's the part of the whole thing.
I see. I see. All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Debbie, may I ask a question? This is Janine.
Sure, go ahead.
So I've been playing with the 15 one, and I just have a question about the sheet 2.
Okay.
When I look at it, I see that the image is blank. You know, I've got my images in. It's numbered blank through 20. The images go to 15. But when I look over at the problem number and answers, problem number is in the same, problem 1, sorry, is in the same row with the blank.
Okay, that doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay,
yeah,
that's good.
You found the only one that I didn't change. I moved all the rest of them, and I didn't change that one. If it bothers you, you can actually go and put in, like select the 2 cells just above problem number and answers. Select those 2 cells. And then right click on it and insert cells and shift down.
Okay.
I just wasn't. They're all on the same line now, and nothing really changed.
Okay, awesome. It was kind of freaking me out that it worked, but I couldn't figure out why it worked. So
Right.
thank you very much.
Okay, so I know that some of you are sticking around you have questions about going out of order. Debbie, do you mind if I show them how to do that?
No, go right ahead.
All right, let me just open up a template. I was just grading pixel arts right now. I just have to open up my drive. I have 3 different drives, one for the university, one for the high school, and one for, for my personal. All right, I'm actually just going to use the sloth one that someone created, just because that's the first one that showed up. So I think it's set up to. Oh, I don't remember what the numbers are set up to. Why isn't it working? See, this is using my own template, but I don't know what they set the answers to be. Okay, hold on. Let's find a different template. One of mine. I have so many. It's under color by numbers, but where is it? I can't find my folder. Here, there. Okay. So this one's already set up. So these are already set up, but let me just show you one that isn't. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to make it green for correct, red for incorrect, but then I don't want it to do anything if it's blank. I want it to stay. So you do have to go in that order. Your conditional formatting does have to happen in that particular order, or if not, it's just always going to be red. So for example, for this one, I'm just gonna right click on that cell for number 1. And I'm gonna go down to conditional formatting. Okay, so it's just like the pixel art. So again, I just right clicked on it, went to conditional formatting, and then I want to go to custom formula. So again, right here where it says format cell if, I'm gonna go to custom formula. And then I'm gonna say if this cell here, which is D4, okay, so equals, I want to make sure I lock that one down. That's what the $sign does. So I'm gonna say D, another $1 equals. So now I'm telling my formula if, oh, it wasn't 1, it was 4, D4. If D4 is equal to 1, see how I changed it? Then I want this to be green. Okay. You can also put it in quotes. If you're planning to use words, you're gonna need quotes in there. This one's set up to numbers, so I'm just gonna leave it to a number. Okay, so again, if you're using words, you do have to put those quotations. All right, that's my first formula. So I said it, if it's 1, then I want it to be green. I'm gonna hit done. Okay, so that formula is already done. Since we wanna add additional formulas, I just clicked on it again. I'm gonna go to add another rule right here, and it's gonna create a second rule. So then I'm gonna say if it's, actually, let's do the blank one next because it has to be in the order. If it's blank, so I'm just gonna put 2 quotes. Then I wanted to turn whatever this color is, the background color. I think it's this one here. You just have to make sure you select the correct color. Okay. So now that's my blank rule. Then I'm gonna go add. And now I wanna say if it's not 1. So if it's incorrect, I'm gonna use the less than and greater than sign. That means not. If it's not equal to 1, then I wanted to turn red. And I'll do it again. I'll do it again right now. So now watch what happens. It's blank. So there's nothing there, just turn that color. If I put 1, it turns green. If I put 3, because it's incorrect, it turns red. Okay. I'll do it again. So now we're gonna set number 2. Number 2, now this one is D8. So I'm gonna right click on it, go down to conditional formatting, right click, down to conditional formatting. Change this format cells if, I'm gonna click on that, go down to custom formula. Now I wanted to say if D8, so equals $, D $8 equals, if D8 is equal to 2, then I want that to turn green. Then I'm going to add another rule. If it's blank, so I'm going to delete that 2 and put 2 quotes. If it's blank, I want it to stay that background color. And now I'm going to add another rule. Delete all of this, and I'm going to say if it's not equal to, so less than, greater than sign. If it's not equal to 2, then I want it to be red. Done. So now that one's done as well, and it'll work the same way. So if there's a 2 in there, it turns green. If there's anything other than a 2, it'll turn red.
And how did you do that wolf picture?
Debbie colored this one. So this is the same, it's my set, that same template that I did originally, but it's a color progression. So you take a picture and then you add the colors one by one, but the sheet 2 is exactly the same as what you just saw.
But is the program that you use to color it some sort of like graphic design program?
It is, yes. I used Adobe Illustrator to color that. Yeah, I made it into a vector
my
file.
skill level.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah. I use Procreate on mine. So I just recently learned that you can use Procreate, which is a $10 software for the iPad. And it works very nicely too. So if you have an iPad, you can use Procreate, and I mean, to me, it was worth $10 because I've done so many Harry Potter pictures now that my heart is content.
Could you possibly show us while you're there how to hide sheet 2 from students?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'll let Debbie do that since it was her webinar. I'll send it over to her.
Okay. Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot about that. Where was the one we were working on? There. So in your, after you've done everything, you've got all your answers where you want them to be, and you're ready to send it out to the kids, you would delete all of your answers first of all, so that they aren't there. You would just have your blank. And on sheet 2, I like to hide everything. I'm going to delete all of this, clear the formatting from there. All that's gone. I click on the left top corner of the spreadsheet. It highlights the whole spreadsheet, and I change the font color to white so that all of my answers and everything disappear. I go to row where the pictures are, and I hide that. And then last, I go to sheet 2. And when you click on the little arrow, or when you right click on it, you go to hide sheet. And at that point, sheet 2 is not there. Now it is still there, and the kids can find it when they get smart enough, because if you go to view, hidden sheets, sheet 2, and it will reappear. But like I said, if you make that font white, that's really going to trip them up.
I'm sorry, could you just, that was a little slightly too fast.
Okay.
Could you just repeat that, please?
Sure. Let me undo what I've done here. Okay. This was my answer page here. So I've got all my answers, problems. I'm going to click, not right, left click on the corner box of your spreadsheet, which then highlights the whole spreadsheet, and change your font color to white. So everything has kind of disappeared. If you go to column L, where the pictures are, or whatever column it is, and right click on it, you can hide that column. And then when you go to sheet 2 at the bottom, click on the down arrow and then click hide sheet. Okay, and to find it again, you just go up to view and then hidden sheets.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
This has been wonderful and very informative. And it's going to take me, and I can make Excel spreadsheets sing and dance. But this is way beyond what I've, partially because I don't know Google Sheets. I know Excel.
Yeah. And Excel does not work the same. You can't take one of these and download it as Excel and make it work because Excel doesn't treat pictures the same way as Google Sheets does.
Got it.
It's a lot more complicated. It can be done. Well, actually, I don't know if this can. I know the block pieces in Excel can work, but it's much more complicated.
Right. Well, I'm thinking about the formulas.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I say I can make Excel sing and dance, I mean with formulas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, one more question. I have done it. I love it. I love you guys. I've been haunting I've been there. I've stolen everything. Now I finally want to share something. How do I do that? How do I make a forced copy?
All right. All right. That is a good question. All right. The first thing you have to do when you share anything is you have to go to the share button up here next to your picture. When you click on share, it's going to bring up a box and you have to change this to anyone with link. And you want to leave it on view. Anyone with the link can view. You don't want to put on edit because you don't want people in there messing with your folder. So just leave it on view and then you click on done. Or actually you want to copy the link then. Copy the link. And you could post this, you could type this link anywhere. Let me find a decent place to do it. Here. Make this a little bigger so you can see it. All right, if you paste the link there, you see there's a slash bar here at the end that says edit. Everything after that, you need to change that to the word copy. So everything after that slash, just delete it, type in the word copy. And then this is the link that you want to copy and share in the Facebook group.
Does it matter when I've done this, when I've shared stuff with my students before, I have not gotten rid of everything after. I've just simply changed the word edit to copy and they haven't had an issue. Does that make any kind of difference at all?
I don't think so, but I'm not sure about that. I think I'd like to test that out a little bit to see if you took one of my links and didn't change the ending of it, if maybe it would still be tied to me somehow. I'm not certain of that. Like certainly kids can open anything from you, but if it was an outside one, that's the only thing I can think. But I know people do just sometimes put the copy in for the word edit. So
yeah, I used to do that way and just do it as the copy, and it didn't make any difference. I just changed it exactly. It's easier just to delete it up to the slash. Yeah. But for me, it didn't make any difference just changing it to copy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, because that's what when I add that link into like their Canvas assignments, I've just gone in and erased those 4 letters and just changed them to copy, and it seemed to work. Nothing changes on my end when they complete their assignments. So I didn't know if you knew if like down the road I was going to realize that they messed everything up on me or
right. I have not run into anything yet that makes a difference. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since we are on the subject of copying and sharing, I do use the method that you have used, erase all the way till the / and add copy. But at times it works, and at times I see all my slides have been changed. And I always share my work like that. Any idea why that could be happening so I can avoid it? Because when I go back and use it, everything has been changed. Thankfully, I can go back to versions, but.
Right. Are you certain that your share setting of your file is only set to people can view? It might be that when you change this, you may have that they can edit it.
Okay, so if I set it to view, they still can change it?
No, no. What I'm saying is make sure that you haven't set it to editor. When you when you make your copy, when you make that forced copy link,
yes,
it should only be on viewer, and then you make your forced copy link. But if you have it on editor, I'm not sure what happens.
I think I might be doing that mainly because thinking if somebody wants to change out a Bitmoji or something like that, they can do it. But on the view mode, they cannot change.
Right. They won't be changing your original one. They are making their own new copy. Yep.
And then they can change that one.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, so that's a good one. That's where the issue was coming, because I thought I need to set it to edit so they can edit and change their Bitmoji, because I share more of the Bitmoji stuff.
Right. Yep. No, always keep it on view.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yep.
You know the first slide that you had that had the steps of the Google
Yes.
It said, where do we get that at?
I haven't shared it anywhere, but I can.
Oh, okay.
Does
Do you
that
mind?
help?
Yeah,
Having
well,
those-
just because when you're gone, I might forget a step or something.
Yeah, no, I get it. So and actually I was going to write that out in a little bit more detail as well, like how to put the picture as the background and then download each. So I was going to write out the steps a little bit more. I work much better from written instruction than I do watching videos. I like being shown, but if I'm on my own, I want to read it. So I will share this and I will write out the steps in a little more detail.
Okay, great. Where will you share it, on the website or?
Yeah, on the Facebook group.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. This
You're
was
welcome.
wonderful. Thank you.
Remember, if there is anything that you would like us to do the written instructions or to make a tutorial about, please just get in touch with us, PM us, or just put it on Facebook. And if we can do it or can find out how to do it, we will post it up for you.
Thank you.
One thing I was just trying to do while I was listening to all of this is go ahead and do my computer review, and we're working on introduction to Google. And so I